Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The time now is 1:56 a.m. Today is Monday, June 24th, 2024.
If you are calling about a Humana Medicaid member from the state of Florida, press 1. All other callers, please press 2.
Thank you for calling Humana Healthy Horizons in Florida. If you need to speak to a nurse, please press 2. All other calls, please press 1.
If your call is regarding a life-threatening emergency, please hang up and dial 911 or your local rescue service. Otherwise, please remain on the line for the next available representative. Thank you for calling the Humana First Nurse Advice Line. My name is Toya. I'm a care coordinator. Are you calling to speak with a nurse?
Yes.
Okay. May I have the first and last name, please?
My name is Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fuad. My first name is Omar, O-M-A-R. My last name is Fuad, F-O-U-A-D.
Thank you. And Mr. Omar, in case we get disconnected, what's a good phone number?
The same number I'm calling from now, 772-538-8586.
Okay, thank you. And how can I help you?
I'm trying to find out what's the best thing I should do. I feel sad, and I'm having difficulties accomplishing my necessary living necessities and accomplishing my legal requirements and medical requirements, my legal and medical affairs. Having difficulty keeping up with my hygiene. I keep hearing voices of someone telling me you lost every time I'm trying to document something pertaining to my legal and medical requirements and legal and medical affairs and legal and medical situations I'm trying to accomplish. And I don't know what to do, so I feel sad.
Hey, Mr. Omar, give me just a moment. Hold the line. I'm going to let you speak with the nurse, okay? Just hold the line for me. Hi, is this Omar?
Yes.
Hey, Omar, my name's Amanda. I'm a registered nurse at 24/7 Nurse Advice Line. Could I get your last name and your date of birth, please?
My last name is Fuad, F-O-U-A-D. My date of birth is December 14th, 1988.
Okay, and if we were to get disconnected, what's a good phone number I can call you back on?
772-538-8586.
You said 772-538.
8586.
And just to verify your address that I have on file, what address are you located at right now? I'm just going to make sure I have that right in here. So what's going on today?
It's been going on for quite a while now. I've been feeling sad and having difficulties keeping up with my necessary living necessities and accomplishing my necessary living necessities. been having difficulties keeping up with my hygiene. I've been having difficulties accomplishing my legal and medical requirements, my legal and medical affairs, and I keep hearing voices of someone telling me you lost every time I'm trying to document my legal and medical affairs or my legal and medical documents so I could accomplish my legal and medical requirements.
Thinking about hurting yourself right now or anybody else?
I just feel sad. I just feel sad, and I'm at risk for.
I hate that you're going through that. But are you thinking about harming yourself?
Well, I'm at risk for self-neglect, and I'm really sad.
But do you have any kind of plan to end your life or hurt yourself, anything like that?
I'm trying to accomplish my legal and medical affairs so I could obtain monetary relief, but every time I try, something happens that it stops me, and it makes me really sad. And all I'm doing is just telling the truth about, all of my legal and medical affairs, hoping that somebody would help me. And people just keep doing things to make it more difficult for me to fully recover and obtain monetary relief. And I don't know what to do.
So are you currently hearing the voices right now?
Yeah, I heard it earlier before I called.
All right. Well, I am glad you called us. And I definitely want to try to help you get some help with that, okay?
Okay.
And now, do you use any
No,
do you use any drugs or alcohol?
no, I don't do drugs or alcohol.
And I mean, no offense by that or anything, and I'm not accusing you of it. It's just I just wanted to make sure people are different, so I always like to check. Any confusion? Do you know who you are, where you are, all that right now?
Yes, and I keep getting discriminated against, and I'm Muslim also.
When did all this start?
It's been happening for a long time now.
How long is a long time?
It started on January 27th, 2015, when my son was killed at the HCA Northwest Medical Center and Hospital in Margate, Florida. And then it continued to happen after I reported them killing my son at the hospital in Margate, Florida. And it continued to happen on August 7th, 2018 in the city of Miami. And I was getting harassed a lot there. And I was managing a convenience store in Model City, Miami. And people kept harassing me there also. And they would write my deceased son's last name into the counter area. And people would go to the store and try to rob me at gunpoint and spit in my face. And they would try to steal things from the store. And they would do drugs inside the store. And I
like a mental health counselor in the past, or have you taken any medications for this? Have you talked to anybody about it?
I tried to in South Florida, but my after I reported that situation, I called the police when I was in the city of Miami, and I had to file more than 5 trespassing citations against people at the store. And somebody came back to that store and told the owner, if I don't stop working at that store, they're going to kill me. So the owner of the store fired me. He didn't give me my overtime pay either. I was working 12 hours a day to 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I was there for several months. And he never gave me my overtime pay either. And when he fired me, I told my mom, and she told me to call the police. And when she told me to call the police, I was walking to the Publix there on the corner of 3rd and 7th in downtown Miami in Cayocho. And there was a police officer in his police vehicle. And I asked him if I may approach him. He said yes. And then I told him that I need to file a police report because somebody was threatening my life at my job. And the officer ended up pushing me in my chest 3 times. And when he pushed me in my chest 3 times, I put my hands in the air and I said, "Sir, could you please just call your supervisor?" And he wasn't willing to call a supervisor. And then he walked away from me. And then I asked him again. But when I asked him again, I was recording him with my phone. And when he saw me recording him, he called his supervisor. And then when his supervisor arrived, I told his supervisor. And then I told his supervisor also that the officer pushed me in my chest 3 times before he arrived. And when I told him that, the officer retaliated against me. He put me in a chokehold. Then he twisted my neck to the right. The 5th time I struggled to say I couldn't breathe. And then he picked me up and he body slammed me onto the concrete, onto my left side. And then he picked me up off the ground, put me in handcuffs. Then he took everything out of my pockets and put me in the backseat of the police vehicle. And then the supervisor who arrived immediately left after he witnessed that. And then there was a PRI officer who arrived, a police responding to the incident officer named Leslie or Diaz. And Diaz immediately walked up to the Officer Ronnie Rodriguez, who attempted to murder me for telling on him. And he said, "So why'd you beat him up?" And then Rodriguez ended up yelling at him and said, "Man, let's just take this kid somewhere and beat the SHIT out of him some more." And then Diaz told him to take me to Jackson Memorial Hospital. And then Rodriguez was filling out a police report on the trunk of the vehicle that I was in, and he falsified the police report and then drove me to Jackson Memorial Hospital. And then Diaz followed behind him in a separate vehicle. And once I was at Jackson Memorial Hospital, I called 911 from the hospital phone. And the second time I called 911, they sent the internal affairs detective named Eric Rodriguez. Same last name as Ronnie Rodriguez, but a different first name. And Eric Rodriguez was from the internal affairs. He was a detective. And he arrived and took pictures of the visible injuries on my body caused by Ronnie Rodriguez, Officer Ronnie Rodriguez, from the City of Miami Police Department. And then they did several tests, like x-rays and CT scans and MRIs. And they kept me there for 10 days. And the 10th day I was there, we had a probate court hearing. And the Honorable Judge Alvin Billent Jr. He said it was an uncontested fact at this hearing that Omar was beaten up by the police, and that they also witnessed signs of bruising. And they told him to release me from that hospital jail setting because I didn't commit any crimes and I didn't do anything wrong to be arrested. And there were two public defenders there.
I do hate that you had to deal with that. That does sound like a lot. So you having the depression and stuff like that, it does sound like you've been through a lot. But based on what you've told me so far, like your feelings that you're having right now and your symptoms, I do think you need to go be seen and evaluated in the emergency department. I think you're having some emergent symptoms that need addressed, and the hospital can provide you with some resources too. Hopefully they have caseworkers there that can help you. Do you know what hospital you might go to?
I don't know what's the best
You're
place.
in Tallahassee, right? So there's Tallahassee Memorial Hospital and there's Capital Regional Hospital.
Yeah, which one is the best one for these type of situations?
Well, they're both great hospitals, so it's really just your preference. I don't know if one of them is closer to you. Do you have another adult that could drive you to the hospital? Just because with your symptoms and everything you're having, it may be safer for somebody else to drive you, just in case your symptoms worsen. But I think either one of those hospitals are a great choice. Do you want me to look and see if one of them is specifically in your network?
Yes, but preferably one other than Tallahassee Memorial Hospital.
Okay, we can see if Capital Regional's in there. What's your zip code?
32303.
Okay, let me see if
And the reason why I said hospital other than Tallahassee Memorial Hospital was because there was a nurse at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital named Nurse Christopher, and he snatched the EKG wires off my chest and the heart rate monitor off my right index finger because I told him that my Humana Medicaid health insurance transportation is called Motive Care. They require a nurse from the hospital, a discharged nurse from the hospital, to tell them I'm being discharged so they could send the transportation to bring me home. And when I told him that, he got mad and he grabbed a handful of the EKG wires that were attached to my chest and he just snatched them all off very aggressively, and it made my neck whiplash. And then he also snatched the heart rate monitor wire off my right index finger, and it also hurt my neck and my right shoulder. And
Well, I am seeing right now that Florida Capital Hospital, the one on Capitol Medical Boulevard, is in your network, and they do specialize also in psychiatric, it looks like. So they have mental health, they have a mental health center. So I would definitely, if you don't want to go to Tallahassee Memorial, that's another option. Do you want the address for there?
Yes. Is there any way they could drive me there, or do I have to call an ambulance or something?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see anything about transportation on here, and especially with it being after hours, you may just have to call the ambulance if you don't have somebody to drive you.
Okay.
Okay, so just tell them whenever they get there to get you that you want to go to Capital Regional or to Florida Capital Hospital.
Okay, the problem is also, though, every time I go to the hospital and I tell them the truth about what happened, that I'm injured because of a police officer, and that's not the first time that I was injured by the police officer on August 7, 2018. I was also injured by police officers in the city of Miami again on March 27, 2019. Specifically Officer Brown and Officer Bryant Brogdon. And then I was injured by a Fort Lauderdale police officer at the Broward Health Medical Center named Officer Montiacos. And then I was injured by 4 police officers from the Broward Sheriff's Office in North Lauderdale. and their names are Corey Davis, Omar Maksood, and I don't have it written down. 1 second.
Well, that's okay. They shouldn't, judge you on any of that. I would just go in, let them know, the depression that you're having. Let them know, you've been hearing some voices and stuff, and they should evaluate you and get you some help, and hopefully they can get you with a caseworker there and get you some resources. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, the officer's name's.
Right, but I would definitely be seen within the next hour. So, go ahead and go get ready to go so that you can be seen. I think you need to be seen pretty immediately. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. And then just so I could make sure I told you, the officers' names are Corey Davis, Omar Maksood, Nashan Williams, and John Pavisic from the Broward Sheriff's Office.
Well, I do hate that you dealt with all that, and I hope you're able to get all your legal stuff figured out. Like I said, just tell them you want to talk to a caseworker too while you're there. Hopefully you can get some help. They can give you some advice on what to do, but I think you need to go get medically checked out first, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And then just tell them that I'm feeling sad and I'm hearing voices. Don't tell them that the police injured me, right?
I would get if you're having like symptoms from that, you could tell them that, but I think you definitely need to address the voices and the depression first. And then, maybe they can get you with a counselor to talk about that stuff. But definitely, I think that's your biggest issue right now is that's going to be the first priority is getting you some help for, like, the depression and everything else because we want you as healthy as possible. We don't want, you getting worse or anything. So go get that taken care of, and then maybe they can point you in the direction of some good resources. And if after you leave the hospital, if you need us again or you need information on more resources, just call us back. We'd be more than happy to help. But go ahead and go in and be seen. Like I said, that's called Florida Capitol Hospital.
Okay, and they told me also that I need a petition for adjudication for incompetence.
Okay, so as far as that stuff goes, like the legal stuff, I can't give you legal advice.
What I'm saying is they said that the petition for adjudication of incompetence, they said that something about I need to see a doctor to tell the doctor.
Hopefully, if they can get you, okay, I see what you're saying. So if you go to the hospital, go ahead. Like I said, I think you're having emergency symptoms right now. Get that checked out and then refer you to like a psychiatrist as well, and that would be who you would see for that.
Okay, so tell the psychiatrist that, and then the psychiatrist could help me?
Yeah, hopefully they should. They should have the better resources. That would be who you would need to talk to for that instance, okay?
Okay, and then is there a specific department with Humana that I should call for these type of situations, or do I call this same number every time?
Yeah, anytime you're having medical symptoms, you can call this number, and we're more than happy to help you.
Okay, and then should I call the Florida, what is it called again? You said Florida Capital Regional? So should I call the Florida?
I would go in I think you need to be seen in the next hour.
Okay, and should I call them first before I go there to tell them?
No, you can just show up.
Okay, do you mind, could you call them and tell them that I'm going there so I don't have any problems? Because I'm really worried about that.
We aren't able to call and let them know. Like I said, just go within the next hour. It's an emergency department, so you can just walk in. You won't have any issues.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Call back if you need us. I hope you get to feeling better.
Yes, and what's your name?
My name's Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, of course, and I hope you get to feeling better. Like I said, we're here if you need us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Time now is 2:21 p.m. Today is Monday, June 24th, 2024.
(911) for the city of Tallahassee and Leon County. 911, what's the address emergency?
Tallahassee, Florida.
The phone number you're calling from?
772-538-8586.
And what's your cross street on? Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I'm feeling sad, depressed, and I'm hearing voices.
Okay. What's your name?
Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fuad.
How do you spell your last name?
Fouad.
Okay. Just 1 moment at the right call. Just stay on the line with me. Are you at that location now?
Yes.
Are you thinking of hurting anyone, including yourself?
It's a long story, but I called the Humana Medicaid health insurance 24-hour nurse line, and I told them what happened, and they told me I need to go to the Florida Capital Regional within 1 hour because it's an emergency, and they're within my network for mental health services. And she told me specifically to go there and to tell them that I'm feeling sad and depressed and I'm hearing voices. She said I don't necessarily have to get into the details of why, and that's because every time I tell them that I was beaten up by the police and I have injuries, and they keep doing things to purposely make it difficult for me to obtain monetary relief and fully recover from my injuries because they don't want to get in trouble for injuring me. And one of the officers attempted to murder me also because I told on him. And every time I tell, the hospitals or the doctors that they don't help me, and they do things to make it worse, and they do things to make it more difficult for me to obtain monetary relief and fully recover. And so she told me I don't have to get into the details. She said just to tell them that I'm feeling sad and depressed and I'm hearing voices. And the voices, though, that I'm hearing are someone telling me you lost.
About that, but are you thinking of hurting anyone, including yourself?
Well, I'm having difficulties accomplishing my necessary living necessities. I'm having difficulties keeping up with my hygiene. I'm having difficulties accomplishing my legal and medical requirements and my legal and medical affairs. And have I hurt anyone, you said?
Correct. Have you hurt anyone in the past?
No, I'm not a violent person. I'm concerned because I'm having difficulties doing all the things that I need to do, and I'm always feeling sad, and I keep hearing...
Have access to any weapons?
No, I don't have any weapons.
I need to get your description. What kind of clothing are you wearing?
A white medical scrub uniform.
Are you black, white, Asian, or Hispanic?
I'm like a light brown skin. I'm American, but I'm Egyptian. My family's Egyptian.
And
old are you?
35.
Are you receiving mental health care?
But I have mental health services through Humana Medicaid, and they told me that Florida Capital Regional is within the network of Humana. They mentioned Tallahassee Memorial Hospital also, but I asked them if there's anywhere else other than Tallahassee Memorial Hospital because of a situation involving a nurse there named Nurse Christopher. He physically assaulted me, and I reported him.
Well,
and then they trespassed.
What is your diagnosis?
Well, they told me I have post-traumatic stress disorder.
I need to get the name and number of your doctor.
Dr. George Whitten at the Florida State University College of Medicine, Florida State University Primary Health, 2911 Roberts Avenue, Tallahassee, Florida, 32310.
Have you been using alcohol or drugs today?
No, I don't do drugs or alcohol. But my doctor's phone number is 850-644-1543.
Okay. Do you need medical attention?
Yes, I need to go to the Florida Capital Regional within 1 hour. That's what the nurse directed me to do.
Okay. An officer will be dispatched as soon as possible. Call us back if anything changes or you have any further information. Okay?
Okay, and then do I tell the officer the same thing, or are you going to tell him already?
I put everything you told me into the notes, but he may ask you more questions.
I just don't feel comfortable telling him that the situation is because an officer attempting to murder me and then trying to cover it up.
Okay, well, you can relay that to him when he gets there if he does ask you those questions. But I don't need that information myself.
Okay, but could you inform him that I need to go to the Florida Capital Regional for mental health?
Yes, I can add that to the notes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do you know when he's going to arrive?
We have the call in right now, and it looks like an officer's already on his way. But I wouldn't be able to say how long it would take him to drive there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Time now is 2:31 a.m. Today is Monday, June 24th, 2024. The duration of this audio transcript is 35 minutes and 4 seconds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.